3, 2, 1, go.
Here we go again on another high altitude balloon launch. Today we're getting high at Manildra, which is just left of Orange. Orange is about 3.5 hours west of Sydney. Actually, it's pretty close to where they filmed the Crocodile Dundee movie.
Nice.
Actually, that's not true. It's about another 2,500 kilometres west.
That's a nice.
Now, the launch site that we selected and registered for this flight is the Manildra Showgrounds. And before we got here, we checked in with Ron, who takes care of the grounds, and he said we are good to go. Now, when Ron said he'd organise a crowd to come and watch the launch, we didn't think he'd be talking about 2,500 Corellas. So we decided to camp at the showgrounds for a couple of nights. Here we are, all set up. We picked an unpowered site, $15 a night. You can get power sites as well. It's a camp kitchen, shower and toilet blocks just over there. The kitchen's got a big fridge, microwave, kettle toaster, and more importantly, it's got a fabulous barbecue. Now, as the camp kitchen was going to be our mission control tomorrow, we thought we'd make ourselves a bit more comfortable. Now we're talking. Now, Des has come across something you don't see every day. A herd of wild caterpillars stampeding across the showground.
They've stopped moving now that we've come up close. Zoom in. Oh, almost looks like something from...
The next morning was a bit nippy. As you can see, we woke up with some frost on the ground, but the weather report says it's going to be a fabulous day, perfect for our launch. After the breakfast of champions, it was time to talk about the day's proceedings. We've learnt to expect the unexpected.
Oh, so we can look as intelligent as we like.
The good thing is I did the voiceover.
Yeah.
Now, I was a bit concerned about a bird strike from the resident 2,500 Corellas, so I decided to hire the services of this Australian magpie to sort them out. Australian magpies make perfect security guards. If you want to know more about them, you can visit my YouTube channel, Magpie Daily. One of the critical components in our balloon is this Sondi transmitter. And Sondi transmitters are used in weather balloons, and in Sydney they generally blow out to sea. But on this occasion, this one blew back inland, and we tracked it and recovered it. If you're interested in tracking these weather balloons, you can see them all on the Sondi Hub website. There's hundreds of them flying around the world every day. Here's a snapshot of a weather balloon in the Hunter Valley that might land on land. Looks like Callan's locked onto the Sondi. Now, the laptop on the left is receiving telemetry data from that repurposed Sondi, and it does that through an SDR radio, or software-defined radio, which plugs in a USB port. Now, what Callan's done, he's tuned in to that Sondi, and then the laptop uploads the data to the Sondi Hub website. Now, the laptop on the right is logged onto the Sondi Hub website, and it actually shows the position of the balloon during the flight. We're using 5 cameras on this flight, and they all have to be carefully installed and connected to a central battery. And the reason we're doing that is the flight time's about 2 hours. We want to make sure we get the takeoff, the balloon bursting, and the landing. Now, Ross has come up with some extra smarts for this balloon. It's going to have a geofence, which is basically an electronic perimeter around the anticipated landing site. And if the balloon tries to drift outside those parameters, a microcontroller drives a servo motor that pulls a pin through the tether to the balloon. This jettisons the balloon, or simulates a balloon burst, and initiates a forced landing. It's a bit like a hand grenade pin. Here he is now, threading the pin through the tether. Did you ever thread a needle?
Yeah, that's right. That's got to face upwards. That's good.
Now, on our modules we had these stabilisers, and the purpose of the stabs is to stop the module from spinning around, because that makes the video almost impossible to watch. They're really effective.
Alright.
Those orange adapters on the box were made with a 3D printer. The flies are driving us nuts, so Jim's going to send one up into space. Hold him in your hand. Or is he still alive?
It'll fly away.
Okay. No, it's part of the payload. It's important. It's fun to send some trinkets up in the payload. If you get it back, you'll know it's been to the edge of space. The payload weight, especially Jim's.
There's a beetle.
I'm going to pop that in there. Sort of hold that in position there. Oh, I'm going to come down with that and I'm not too hard. Just turn that there. Now, what we're going to need to do is tape. These are just taped in position.
Yep.
That's it. Okay. That's right.
That looks like a real eye.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like a Chinese one, but it looks like an eye. This little budget camera on the stabiliser is going to capture the balloon exploding. With an external power source, it'll run for hours, and the video quality is pretty good.
I must have one more cable somewhere. There, through there. That's it. Through there. Then tighten it up.
I've just thought of bloody everything.
It has, hasn't it?
After endless fly swatting, applying some radar reflective stickers and a brief welcome to space ceremony, she's ready to go.
Oh shit, don't even joke.
Don't joke about it.
There we go, it's coming off. Got it. I got it. You got a good grip? I got it. You definitely throttled it, right? I throttled it. Yep. Look at it. You got it.
And here she is, all laid out on the launch pad, ready for liftoff. Jim and Darren are holding the balloon down, but being very careful to keep it off the ground because there's a ton of bindies down there. And Caitlin's got the chute in his hand, the parachute, making sure nothing gets tangled. And Joe and Ross have got the module set up, ready for a smooth takeoff.
Good launch, guys.
Fantastic.
Oh, gee, look at that. Still ascending.
He's coming down, guys.
So the balloon's burst at 28,326 metres, and the prediction says it's going to come down around the Mudgee area. As you can see on this Steffi graph, if you draw a line between Manildra and Mudgee, there's a couple of hills in the way, and that's going to block our signal. So we're going to drive to Molong, which gets us up a bit higher, and get the lowest altitude reading possible to improve our chances of finding the bugger. Getting up a bit higher definitely paid dividends. As you can see, the last GPS coordinates we've got are at altitude 1997, a couple of kilometres up. That's got to narrow down the search area. And those last GPS coordinates we received are uploaded to the Sondi hub. The map's updated with the new location of the balloon, and it's not looking good. Dark green areas on a map normally represent denser vegetation, i.e. trees, which are the natural enemy of the landing balloon. So this is exactly the moment we lost contact with the balloon. Now, what are the chances of landing on that bulb patch down there? Well, after a day full of excitement, there was only one more thing to do. Head down to the local Razzle Dazzle for a couple of sherbets and a feed. Next morning at the crack of dawn-ish, we head off to Mudgee to try and recover our balloon. We decided to go via Wellington because someone told us there's a fabulous coffee shop there. Here it is, the Four Cats Coffee Shop. We should have been here last night. Friday and Saturday nights, it's a cocktail bar. We fine-tuned our action recovery plan over breakfast. And then we headed off to Mudgee. Recover 1 to recover 2. Looks like a good fishing spot. Apple Maps showed this as a road going straight through, but actually it's a dead end. We know our balloon's on the other side of this mountain, so we're going to have to find another track to get around to the other side.
The navigator. Smile, Jim. Are we lost?
No, we're not lost yet.
Suddenly, we picked up a faint signal from our balloon, giving us the final landing point coordinates.
Bingo.
The last signal we got back at Molong was at 2 kilometres up, which said it was here. But this new signal is pinpointed to the exact landing point here.
Oh, can you look excited?
Yeah!
As you can see, some of us got a bit too excited. Our search has brought us to a property called Miramar, and our balloon's in there somewhere. After meeting the owners, Matt and Margot, Matt explained exactly what tracks to take to get to the coordinates we need to get to.
Up in there. shit.
The pressure's on Darren now, a recovery specialist. He's going to guide us to the crash site, landing site.
You know what that does?
Yeah, mate. Could always do the falling asleep one again.
Hey guys. Yes, I think we got it straight ahead up on the hill. That's it, for sure.
Come on, Paul, pull your pants up.
Oh, shit. It's all over here from here.
Wow. I'm so excited about this.
You know what this means, Ian?
What?
You don't have a lot of video editing to do.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see if the cameras work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Take back and show the people down the farmhouse.
Just wrap this one up.
Yeah.
This all just wrap
So it wasn't a made up story.
You want me to cut this or not?
No, not there.
Where do you want to cut it?
Where there.
The top's good, so it's obviously got to be here. Oh, yes, it's half out. It's nearly all the way out.
But my first thought is that's happened when it's hit the ground.
But there you have it, aviators. Another successful mission up to the edge of space and back. If you're interested in launching your own high-altitude balloon, why don't you hang around for the second part of the video where we cover some of the more technical aspects that you might be interested in. Hey, and don't forget to check your social media groups too. In this part of the video, we're going to talk about the construction of the module, what we put inside the module, the balloon, and the parachute. Now, before we get started on the technicals, here's a pro tip to all those young budding scientists out there looking to launch a high-altitude balloon into near space. During the planning meetings, always put your hand on your chin like this when someone's talking. It makes you look really intelligent. The easiest and cheapest way to make a lightweight, sturdy box is to knock one up yourself out of 20mm foam. You just basically cut the shapes and glue them together with PVA wood glue. And with a little bit of effort, you can come up with something that looks like this. The frame for the stabilisers was made out of strong, lightweight carbon fibre tubing. And all the interconnecting parts for the frame and the camera mounts were all made with a 3D printer. Let's have a look inside the box. We've got cameras, batteries, a microcontroller for some smarts, and a Sondi transmitter that we recovered from a weather balloon.
Our capsule was carrying 5 cameras. A Navman dash cam looking down taking video, an Aldi camera looking out horizontally taking video, a GoPro looking horizontally taking still pictures, 2 miniature XD cameras out on the stabilisers looking up at the balloon and the parachute taking video. 8 AA batteries fed 4 regulators set to 4 volts that replaced the camera's original lithium polymer batteries, a separate regulator for each camera type. The Navman dashcam was originally designed to override earlier video when the SD card became full. We did not want to lose any of our earlier launch video. To prevent this, we added a microcontroller that was programmed to turn the Navman power supply off after 4 hours runtime. This would eliminate the possibility of overriding any of our earlier video footage. All these cameras came with included lithium polymer batteries. Lithium polymer batteries significantly decline in capacity in cold temperatures, and it was going to get very, very cold during the flight. down to approximately minus 60 degrees Celsius, minus 76 Fahrenheit. So we removed the lithium polymer batteries and used a separate battery supply and management system using Energizer Lithium Ultimate AA batteries, which have excellent low temperature performance. This is our RS41 Sondi that has been reprogrammed with the Horus modulation system. The batteries will normally last about 17 hours. That is cutting it a bit fine for a next day recovery. We extended the Sondi battery life to approximately 34 hours by adding 2 additional batteries in parallel with the existing batteries that are normally on the Sondi. Once in the general landing area, we were able to receive the Sondi telemetry to give us the exact GPS coordinates to within a few metres.
One of the important parts about selecting a launch site for your high-altitude balloon is determining where it's going to land. Now, the flight paths are fairly predictable, and there's software tools to help you with this, but at the end of the day, it's only a prediction. In reality, your balloon could end up drifting into mountainous areas or areas of dense trees, making it almost impossible to recover.
Our youngest team member was Kaylin, a Year 10 high school student. Our 2 previous landings were in remote bushland areas with our payload getting snagged in high trees. Kaylin asks a good question. Can we avoid the bushland areas for our next landing? Kaylin was promoted from making stabilisers and radar reflectors to being responsible for soldering together the custom-designed microcontroller circuit board for the geofence computer system.
The concept of the geofence was to set a virtual north, south, east and west boundary so that if the capsule crossed any of those boundaries, the geofence system would release the balloon from the capsule and the capsule would return to Earth, with the capsule landing in a good recovery area rather than a thick, remote bushland.
Ish. For this flight, we're using a 600-gram latex meteorological balloon, and here you can see us filling the balloon with 3,500 litres of helium. On the ground, about sea level-ish, the balloon measures about 1.9 metres in diameter. After takeoff, the balloon starts expanding as it rises due to the decreasing air pressure. The balloon expands to a whopping 6 metres in diameter before bursting at 28,339 metres and returning to Earth on a parachute. When you launch a balloon into near space, you need to know where it's going, how high it's going, when the balloon's going to burst, and where it's going to land. A great website for all these predictions is the CUFS website. So here's our predicted flight path, and you'll notice the distance between the balloon bursting and the actual landing is quite substantial. The reason it's drifting so far is that we have to land at 5 metres a second, or just under 20 kilometres an hour. And of course that's all determined by the size of the parachute. Fortunately, our parachute expert Mark is a retired school teacher, so he's got to be good at sums, right? And other duties as directed. After quality control, it's out for some fuel testing. First is a durability test, followed by the 5 metres a second performance test. And to tie it all together, we used Bricky's string line. From the team here at Flying High, good luck with your project, and I hope you have as much fun as we did. Now we're talking.
Smile, Jim. Are we lost?
No, we're not lost yet.
Three, two, one, bye-bye.
You know what that does? Hey, mate.
Come on, Paul, pull your pants up.
Oh, shit. Don't even joke.
No. Don't joke about it.
There we go.
Oh, good launch, guys. Fantastic. Very smooth.